it wide open, hoping for a little taste of that unknown. Living in a fast car, living in a fast car days.
All right, welcome back to another edition of Checkers, Wreckers, and What the Heckers. My name is Chad Beard, and I'm a country music artist, content creator, and NASCAR super fan, joined as always by my illustrious co-host. Please allow me to introduce them to you. Week after week, he's back. The follicle phenom, the NASCAR hair Hall of Famer, Haas's at-track VIP coordinator, and the only guy whose hair has more bounce than a Daytona infield drunk tank, Rick Kojan.
I'm going with follicle phenom, and I'm going to try and get it a hard card, Chad. Thank you. You've actually made people come up to me on pit road and say stuff, so thank you.
All right, step aside because we are now entering the courtroom of badassery. Hendrick Motorsports IT tech by day and a ladies tech support line by night. This man is so good looking, his webcam refuses to turn off because it's trying to get more screen time. And let's not forget, he was once the fastest man in North Carolina, which is exactly how long it takes him to get from your mom's house back to his own bed. With a jawline that should be classified as a lethal weapon and a resume that screams both horsepower and hard drives, make some noise for Chris, Supreme Court Justice.
Well, I must say, Ricky, these things are still getting better and better every week.
I'm adding to yours. You are now the Supreme Court Justice of badassery.
I mean, hats off to him for coming up with this shit.
Good job, Chad.
It's good.
Can't wait to see what you got for our guest. That's who matters.
Yeah, we have a very exciting guest in the house today. Before we get to her, we do want to remind you today's guest episode is brought to you by the Chord Buddy. If you've ever wanted to learn to play guitar, well, now guitar playing is made easy. You can play hundreds of songs on day one, fellas. You get the Chord Buddy with its color-coded tabs. You put it over the neck of your guitar, and immediately you are playing songs. And every Chord Buddy comes with its own songbook. So you can play right along with those songs. As you get better, you take those tabs off and you put your fingers where those tabs were, and you're now playing real, actual chords. Check them out for their full line of products, the Chord Buddy, the Uke Buddy, and they have their own line of guitars. Check it out at chordbuddy.com. That's spelled what, Rick?
CHORD, not CORD, like a vacuum cord, like my dumbass thought. And it can make you into Chad Bearden, and who doesn't want to be you?
Absolutely.
Oh, chordbuddy.com. Tell them we sent you. Tell them you appreciate them bringing the podcast week after week. Fellas, I hope you're excited. Here we go.
I'm very excited.
Let's go.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, buckle your seatbelts and hide your husbands, because storming into the podcast studio is none other than the culinary queen of chaos and the woman who can whip up a hot take faster than a microwave hot pocket. She's got more spice than a Carolina Reaper, more sass than a Waffle House waitress at 3 a.m. And let's be honest, she's been breaking hearts and raising hell since the day she figured out eyeliner and Wi-Fi. NASCAR better be ready, because she's about to serve up a 5-course meal of controversy, confidence, and she's just crazy enough to keep y'all begging for seconds. Taylor frickin' Kitchen is here.
Well, welcome, Taylor. Welcome.
Thank you. My God, that was a fantastic intro. Well
Isn't
done.
he awesome?
It was so good.
Make sure you do send that to her an email, because some of these get lost in the sauce, and he's got some really good ones.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to need that in writing.
Absolutely.
Okay. I got it right here. Print it off with your name at the top. There you go.
Oh, my God. That's incredible. Okay, great. He comes prepared.
This guy's unbelievable.
Oh, I try to be. I feel a little off my game today, if I'm honest. I've been running so behind. I did not get these guys' show notes until like 5 o'clock tonight, which is not typical of me. But anyways, let's get into you. So I'm so excited to have Taylor on the show. So Taylor just started a brand new job yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And, but so we're going to back up. We're going to talk about your whole venture. Want to talk about how you got into motorsports and what you're doing in motorsports. So, tell us where you're originally from.
I'm originally from the great state of Ohio. I know some
Oh,
people don't live Ohio. Okay,
Yes!
great. Okay, fantastic. Okay, because I was about to
Oh,
say
H!
oh,
let's
stop
go.
it. Will you
Okay,
stop?
I just made a new best
Beard.
friend.
All right, this was
Hell
Chris. This was
yes!
gonna go well. This was,
Oh
and
my
we
God.
just tanked so fast. We tanked so.
I was gonna say a lot of people don't like Ohio, but I'm like, you know what? I'm a little biased. But born and raised in Ohio, right around Columbus, and uh, really from there, it just my grandma got me into NASCAR. I know you kind of hear like maybe your uncle, your dad, your brother, something like that, but for me, it was my grandma, and never went to a racetrack until 2017. And I mean, of course, Mid Ohio's in Ohio, but I ended up going to Kentucky Speedway, my first race, and from there, the rest is history. We can dive into that more, of course, if we want, but just, Ohio was the proving ground, and then now I'm in North Carolina, so lots of
Yeah.
changes.
Well, welcome
Yes.
to the Carolinas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
So,
that.
you went to school there in Ohio. Where did you go?
Yes. I went to Bowling Green State University,
Nice.
right
Mac
by
school.
Toledo.
Come on, Mac.
Yeah, Maction. We love, see, we're gonna be great friends. I already know
I
this.
think we already are.
We already are. Yeah, I went to Bowling Green State University, ended up getting my degree in broadcast journalism, with a minor in sports issues and media management. So just kind of all across the board, well-rounded education. I loved going there too. It really felt like a home away from home. And the funny thing for me was I originally wasn't going to go there. I went there 3 times to visit the college, hated it all 3 times. I was like, it's in the middle of nowhere. I'm never going to go to college here, etc. And then I went to a summer camp there, and I was like, all right, this is home. Like I have to be here. And that started the whole journey of my education. And yeah, it was literally the best experience ever.
So you go to school
Cool.
and you get your degree, and you do you know immediately that you want to be in NASCAR, you want to be in motorsports?
Yes and no. I think I'm plagued by indecision sometimes, and I like to be a person that does everything. I don't like to commit myself to one certain thing. I'm like, okay, if I get a job, I want to be able to do all these different things, right? And when I went to college, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I started off as a film production major, and for me, like going that route actually like brought me to where I met my boyfriend of 7 years actually. So like I chose that path, didn't work out, but I'm like I met him, so it made sense. Then of course I started changing majors left and right, and I was like, maybe I want to be like a writer, like novelist or something like that, or maybe I want to work in like lives, like production or documentaries or whatever. And then somehow, some way, I was like, I love NASCAR. This has been a through line thing for me since like high school. And I'm like, oh, why don't I just turn that into a career? Because I didn't really understand that, sports media was like a true career. And I really wasn't introduced to that really until college, which sounds silly and crazy, but um, more so, I just want the content around. I'm like, oh, like that, this can be a legit job. So it wasn't until really, I guess, like 2021 that I was like, okay, this can be a job that I pursue. I can work in sports media and try to figure it out from there. And then I kind of merged my podcast with my college degree to try to grow my skills and get to where I am today.
I like it. So then, I mean, I know a little bit because of following along with what you do. You get an opportunity, or what you think might be an opportunity, right? To to move to North Carolina to work in motorsports. And it was enough to make you move here, but you were taking a huge risk, right? Because it wasn't a locked in thing.
Oh, no, not at all. There was an opportunity that got me to move here that was pretty big at the time, and I had signed a contract for something and I was getting paid, and I'm like, all right, so like I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna work in motorsports. It was more of like a PR marketing type role that I had kind of signed on to do. And as of literally the last day of 2024, it all fell apart. And I was like, okay, I have no clue what I'm doing. And so I took a risk moving here, but I knew I was like, if I move here, I know I can make my way. I had that trust in myself. I took the risk and like depleted my savings account early last year to move here for a month just to see what headway I could make before I decided to take the leap full time. And luckily, how everything aligned late last year around the same time that this opportunity completely fell through. I started working with Racing America on a contracted basis, and that kind of gave me some legs to stand on a little bit. And I learned so much too. Like it was so fun working with that team and working with longtime colleagues that I had worked with, prior to like being with Racing America there. But it really was like a blessing in disguise, and I learned so much about myself. And but yeah, it was crazy because that whole thing just fell through. And then again, of course, led to where I am right now. So
And what was your job with Racing America? What were you doing with them?
yeah, so with Racing America, I was a contracted social media manager as well as in, I'm going to say just on-air talent. So I would end up going to the race shops and interviewing the NASCAR Cup Series teams and drivers after a race weekend, typically the winner of that race. I'd cover maybe their fan day, a sponsorship activation, something that they needed done. Like we would help kind of promote that for those teams. I also dabbled in some writing. So Racing America is a partner of Sports Illustrated, so Racing America on SI. So I wrote a little bit for those platforms, covered the action at track, and then of course, from the social media manager standpoint, it was keeping track of our analytics, creating social media strategies, trying to fold in short track coverage with our NASCAR coverage and kind of making videos promoting our short track partners and stuff like that. So I did kind of an all-encompassing role. I feel like now you don't see somebody who's a content creator but is also a social media manager for a company to kind of separate those things on top of like helping with marketing efforts and stuff like that. But I really was doing everything, and I guess had my hand in everything, I should say, at Racing America. It was a very cool experience. It was definitely a very I guess I wouldn't say a hard job, but I learned a lot through it and about how much I could take on for sure.
Yeah. Chris, you got questions?
Oh, I'm listening. It's a lot of crossover there. I too was one who sacrificed a lot when I started many, many moons ago in racing. Kind of just packed up and said, "Hey, throw all my eggs in this basket and see what happens." So I can see the uncertainty there and the feeling of hope this works. So I'm glad it worked out for you. And I'm glad you made that move and you jumped out there on faith and said, "Hey, let's make the best of this deal."
Yeah, and I wasn't sure it was going to work out too. I mean, something I'm very candid in talking about is I do have a chronic illness, and for me, I was not sure if it would allow me to kind of live on my own and take care of myself. And I moving to a different state without your support system for anybody is a huge risk. For me, it's if my chronic illness just goes over the top and just leaves me just to where I can't function, like I can't take care of myself, I can't work, I can't travel, I can't whatever. So it was a huge risk financially, emotionally, on top of, oh yeah, I have this chronic illness that any given day could really just take me out of just anything I was trying to do. But luckily, working with my great care team that I had back in Ohio, obviously support and just working really hard on, getting myself to a good place mentally, physically, like being able to be here has been a blessing, and I'm living my best life. So it's a lot of it is betting on yourself, and it's hoping the risk lands, I guess.
No, I agree. I agree. And congrats to that for taking that leap of faith, man. That's
Thank you.
Chris, have
Rick,
you ever heard of Racing America?
no,
Me
I
neither.
haven't. But
Chad, super
from
fan. You're a super fan. Let's
yeah.
take Taylor out of it for a minute. Do you know who they are or what they were?
Yes, I do know Racing America and follow their stuff.
Because of her, or just
No, I followed a lot of their stuff even kind of before
really
Taylor, but definitely more as I've kind of gotten to know Taylor and saw her work and all that.
interesting.
Um,
yeah.
So, Taylor, were they based out of here, or they just wanted you based out of here to be near the epicenter of our teams and our sport and our tracks, etc.?
Yeah, so Racing America is actually based out of here. They used to have their offices actually in Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Really?
So Racing America is owned by the RTA, the Race Team Alliance. So kind of an overhead thing there. Yeah. Yeah. So kind of some tie-ins there, obviously, promoting for the
Mm,
teams and et cetera. So
Oh, I got you.
yeah, yeah,
they,
yeah.
they also have a really cool part of Racing America, and you can talk more to this, Taylor, but they actually have like a jobs board through Racing
Yeah.
America where you can go, like teams will post there, Racing America posts there, any kind of like racing jobs. I think it's actually called Racer Jobs, right?
Yeah.
So you can go if you want to work in NASCAR, you can go to this site and see
hmm.
who's hiring and for what positions, right?
Yeah, Racer Travel has been a great resource. I even used it when I was initially starting kind of job searching to move down here. But it's not even just with NASCAR teams, but like if you want to work at IMSA, there's some jobs maybe from there too. Like it's all across motorsports. They also do Racer Travel. It helps those that work within the industry get discounted rates on travel and stuff. I feel like I'm like promoting this now, but like it is really cool. And then of course with Racing America too, they broadcast several short tracks, series, short track events, etc. across the country. So any given weekend, I could be running social, I guess, working on social for maybe 9 races in one evening. I think once we got to 10. And so it gets pretty chaotic, but they do a lot for the short track scene and of course for the NASCAR teams as well. But a lot of good stuff for those who are looking to kind of get their foot in the door as well to motorsports.
Yeah. Sorry, did you have something?
No, it was just it was racerjobs.com.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah, Rick, I was never onto that. I didn't know, excuse me. I didn't know anything about that, but that's pretty badass,
Yeah, I
Another
mean, I'm
outlet,
thinking
another avenue. Yeah.
like I've chased this thing since like 2007 or 8 or 9 when Penske turned me down, and like just moved here on blind faith in early 21 and figured it out myself. I didn't even know about that.
Mm-mm.
Huh.
So those that are watching,
Yeah.
racerjobs.com.
Pay some
right?
attention here, racerjobs.com.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your content while we're kind of in this category, because that's kind of how I discovered you. Obviously, I'm a content guy and um, obviously NASCAR freak. So seek out.
Super fan, please.
Yes, super
Don't
fan.
don't call
So
yourself a freak.
But so I came across, and this was so funny because not long after we started this podcast, I'd gone to Rick and said, "Hey, like initially we were just going to do like short social media things. So I wanted to do like 60-second clips, just of social media stuff, just content, and but then it kind of quickly transformed into this podcast because there was just so much I was having to cut out. And I was like, there's so much good stuff. But so not long after we started the podcast, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 episodes in, I was at Haas with Rick and I was telling him about your content. And I was like, man, I love what this girl, Taylor Kitchen, is doing. Like she has this media company called Above the Yellow Line, which I want us to talk more about. And I was like, I just love how she does her content and all that stuff. And so I told her, I was like, there's some things in there that I want to incorporate because I love how she does this. And then we're like walking through Haas and you're there doing a tour. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, and we had talked.
She was with my buddy Matt. I think it was
Yeah.
Matt Kempf.
Yeah.
And it was like you two. So Chris, okay,
And we had talked via Instagram, but that was the first time I think we'd ever met in person. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Chris,
it was
we're in
like
the
so
Xfinity
ironic.
building, right?
Okay.
And I forget, Chad, what were you and I doing? We were going over there to dig in on tables and chairs, and was that it? Like that's where we had that
We were putting something away from
Yeah.
something you had done or
So,
something. But
there's like a group, I don't know, 3 of them, 4 of them. I know Matt. I'm like, then all of a sudden these two are like, hey. I'm like, oh, I'm like, that's Taylor Kitchen. How about that? It was pretty funny.
because literally we just had like a 10-minute conversation in the parking lot about her content, and it was like, what are the chances of that?
It's a small world.
So what were you doing there that day?
Yeah, so my grandpa was actually in town visiting, and he really doesn't know much about like NASCAR, my job, anything. He literally came into my apartment, saw the cars, and he's like, "So, do you sell these? Are you gonna sell them? Because it's kind of a lot." And I was like, "Okay, all right." But I had him visit, and we actually
So
went
much
to
judgment.
Penske. I know, but I get it. Not everyone likes all the diecasts. It's fine. But like we were at Penske like the day before, and then I actually got a message from Matt on like Instagram, and he was like, "Hey, like I saw that you took your grandpa to Penske. That was super cool. Like, would love to give you a tour of
But did he
Haas."
know you?
He followed my stuff. Like he'd been following my content, I'm pretty sure, and that's kind
Interesting.
of how
So
we kind of
he
came across
reached
it.
out and made that happen.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And I'm so
Yeah.
grateful he did, because that was an experience like I will always remember. Because like my grandma passed away. His wife passed away earlier this year. I actually wear this necklace all the time, and it's reminds me of her. It's her essentially. And so being able to have him here, kind of take his mind off of it, kind of get to see a different world and really just experience things and just have that experience to me and
That's
see his
cool.
joy was incredible. And that's something that Matt had no clue about when, of course, we went to the shop because why would
Right.
he? But it was such a cool experience. And then, of course, lo and behold, I see Chad and I'm like, oh my God. Like we had just been talking
So
like
Yeah.
Instagram.
ridiculous.
So
Wow,
it's crazy.
that is crazy.
That's very cool.
But so let's talk about the content itself and like what you do.
Yeah.
So you do a lot of kind of reactionary videos to things that happen. Just kind of explain what you do and how you go about doing that.
Yeah, so I think the content's evolved over time. I used to be so heavy set on like news content, and I still kind of am. And I was getting content out like as soon as it happened. Like in college, I might be working in like the newsroom, like at like I don't know, 4 in the afternoon, and news might come out, and I was like, I'm just gonna go in this room, make a quick video, then come back out and like work on our script for the newscast. Like there was so much of that that I was doing, and I think over time. Not that I lost joy for it, but I was like, there's so many other people doing that. So how can I be different? How can I differentiate it? And that's when I started really diving into the diecast content and kind of making
Mm.
more about that and telling the stories of each of my diecasts because every single one has a story associated to it, believe it or not, with all of the diecasts I have. They all hold a core memory for me. So that's kind of when I started folding into that content. But at the core of everything I make is what do I hear the fans talking about online? What are the questions that they have? What are the opinions they have? And how can I bring in, well, I talked to this person and I talked to that person, and I can kind of add some extra emphasis to a point that somebody's trying to make based off of a conversation. And that's where the journalistic background comes into play. Um, so the process of just creating the content, I mean, it's very simple. Like I'll write out a script, I'll do my research, etc. I'll create a video, put it online. But even too, like I've really tried to get into recently, like more creative content, like using trending sounds again, and just that's something like kind of how I started off on my content journey a little bit. And so I was like, I kind of want to dive into that again because I think I get so lost in the news like all the time when it comes to content creation and get so lost in like the a NASCAR is in session and here's what's happening. I'm like, I kind of want to break it up a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
bring some fun into it. So I
Yeah,
guess
Rick loves
all
when
over the
we
place.
talk
Oh,
But
Chad
politics.
oh
loves
yeah.
the NASCAR courtroom
Yeah.
drama. Like I
Oh,
can't
there's a
wait for that
lot.
to be over because he's gonna have to find something new to talk about.
Listen, I've intentionally
Yeah.
been leaving it off the show notes.
Because I've been such a pain in the ass.
Yes.
I was
Thanks.
wondering why we haven't discussed the text messages that have come out.
He's
Yeah.
like, oh, we gotta handle
I
Rick
almost put
kid
it in, but
gloves.
so let's talk about like how you so you started with the content and you were kind of doing all that stuff. And then this past year you started your own media company. So how did that happen? And like what are you doing with this media company and kind of what's the goal with it?
So that media
Yes.
company, Chad, I'm gonna cut her off, is above the yellow line. And that alone makes her such a badass because who the hell even knows what that means unless you really know,
Yes.
right? Go
Yeah.
below the yellow line. You will be penalized if you improve your position. If not, you give your position back. What a great, great name. Go ahead. Sorry, I stepped on you.
No, no, you're good. But the name was like it took me forever to figure that out too, because I
So
was literally
cool.
like, I was at my kitchen table and like my dad was doing dishes, and I'm like, okay, I need to think of a name for this. And I was running names around, and I'm like, oh, somebody has that name, or that name's kind of stupid. And I was like, well, like just thinking of recent Daytona races, I'm like, the yellow line rule has been so controversial. I'm like, I just think that'd be really cool. I
Badass.
can see the logo, I can see it all. My dad's like, well, why not above the yellow line, not below, above? Because like be positive a little bit. I'm like, you
That's
know what?
it.
Let's do it. So
Wow.
um did that. That's how the name came about. But above the yellow line, and then ATYL Media is kind of what we transferred it into with the whole umbrella. The whole purpose of it was I think there is so much combativeness. That's not even a word, I don't think, but there's so much like competition, I should say, in the media space. And I've been able to work with so many fantastic independent content creators through my time, whether it's a collaboration or something like that. And I'm like, why don't we all just work together? We all love motorsports, right? We all kind of have this common goal of either full-time content creation or just wanting to tell stories and wanting to inform and stuff like that. And a lot of those that I work with kind of have a journalistic base to their kind of content creation, which I really do value. And that's part of why I make content is to kind of have that journalistic base in it as well. But I was like, why don't we just create a group? We all can do our own shows, whatever we want, and just do our best and see what happens. And so it really is just a combination of content creators just wanting to work together to make content that people will enjoy and people will get informed by. And it just came from my podcast about Via Line. And, and that helped spark my career. It helped me work with TobyChristie.com, which got me to Racing America, which now has gotten me to motorsport.com, which it's still crazy for me to say that and then hear it as well. But just seeing what my platform and me building it has been able to do for me, I want to be able to do the same for others who have the same aspirations. So that's really where it came from. And we've had an internship program come through. So we had 4 college students over the past, I guess, this summer, who, I've helped train, help kind of get into the content world. And it's been really cool to see them kind of grow from that and take part in our platform and now kind of move on, have that on their resume so they can kind of follow their dreams, like what I did with me. And so, altogether, kind of a proving ground place, a place to kind of get your feet wet in motorsports and just, kind of make whatever you want from it.
Yeah.
That's so badass right there.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Just took the bull by the horns and said, I'm going to make it mine.
For me, I'm all about making my own path. Because my chronic illness kind of forced to, but also like I don't like to be told what to do. I've never been somebody who's like to be told what to do. I find my own path. If someone's like, you should do this, I'm like, yes, but I'm going to do it this way, or I'm going to do something completely different and see if it works. That's just how I've always been. I'm very stubborn. So part of why I formed this is I'm like, I've seen media outlets with content creators be formed certain ways or act certain ways. And I'm like, why haven't they been this way? And then I might try it. I'm like, oh, that's why they're not this way. But I'm like, I want to try it first and like see if it fails or not. But so far it's been great. And just kind of seeing the opportunities that our content creators have had. We have a great relationship with NHRA now and, doing some content like with them a little bit. We've gotten credentialed for IndyCar races and they've been good with working with us too. So it's been awesome to see the opportunities that it's given to others on the team. And we're just doing things our way. And that's kind of the team I put together is folks that, just want to try stuff, see if we can kind of do things our own way and form a path. So,
yeah, I love that. And it's not like I never got like the whole competition kind of thing. Like even when when my full-time job was being a country music artist, there were so many guys who were always guys, girls, whatever. And who always felt like they were competing with each other or who it was like a battle. And I'm like, why though? Like because I can't play, like guys would be amazed that I would give them my contacts for venues or that I give them a booking agent's number or that. And I'm like, I can't play those stages every single night. I can't, somebody else has to fill those stages. Why shouldn't it be somebody that that I know that I like why is there gatekeeping? And I feel the same way about like content creation and in this motorsport space is like it can all be complementary because we can all tell the same story, but we're all going to tell it differently, right? We all have our own way of how we cover it or how we explain whatever's happening. And so I love it that it's a collaboration and not a competition. That's really cool.
Yeah. And a lot of that, I think, comes from just being confident in yourself. And I think that the moment I felt free to create and follow my own path was the moment I stopped comparing myself to other people who were either kind of farther in their career than I was at my age at this time, or people who were doing things that I really wanted to do. I'm like, I will get there or I'll be where I'm meant to be. Like I spent so much of my life waiting to feel like, better or to be healthy enough to do things. Like I was so sick of waiting and I'm like, you know what, whatever life throws my way, I'll just go for it. And so part of the collaborative effort and part of the, not feeling like there's competition is just feeling confident in myself, my path to just let it do what it's going to do. Obviously there's hard work that falls behind that for sure, right. But it's more so feeling confident in what I am doing and happy with what I'm doing. I'd rather feel happy than what I'm doing than constantly look across the room or look on my feet or whatever and see someone and be like, oh man, I wish that was me. I'm like, it could be me. I just got to work hard. I got to try to figure out a path. So a lot of it is just personal mindset things for me. And that's kind of where the competition aspect shifted to collaboration.
Yeah, I love that. And like we were kind of talking the other night at the race because we saw each other on pit road, but like I that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm trying to figure out what's the path. And these guys will tell you like I'm
I'm trying to give you a path.
Yeah, it's just I'm like, I don't care. Like I love creating content and I love doing this, but I also just like I love NASCAR and I want to be involved in any way that I can. So it's like just but we were talking about kind of the struggles. Like for me, um, it's been really hard to get like a content job with like a team or an organization because every one of them says you have to have a 4-year degree. It doesn't matter how much experience or life experience you have or how good your stuff is. Like it, it's really hard sometimes. It really sucks because they're just like, hey, if they'll just shuffle you out, not even look at you if you don't have a degree. But I mean, that it hasn't stopped me yet and it's not going to. So
Yeah.
you just find another way around. It's,
So you said you saw her on Pit Road. You mean at Darlington?
yeah, she was at Darlington.
Oh. Chris, did you meet her at Darlington? She come by?
No, not a clue.
Yeah,
I didn't get a message, a text
let's
message.
see, we were pit stall 23. Yeah, I saw plenty of Chad. Didn't see any Taylor
Chad.
Kitchen.
Never said, hey, meet our guest coming up.
Hey, our guest that's going to be on the show is here at Darlington. Let me bring her by the pit box. Now, in fairness, because I feel like I'm kind of stepping on your neck, you did come by with a bologna sandwich. And I was really pumped up about that because I hadn't eaten all freaking day. So thank you, bro.
Rick and I have this weird, it's not
weird.
It's awesome. I don't know why I say weird, but we love fried bologna sandwiches. So anywhere we can find a fried bologna sandwich, which, there's a great place here in Kannapolis. There's one we really love down close to Rick called Hello Sailor. I don't know if
Taylor, where'd you move to in Charlotte? Where are you?
In the Charlotte area.
Okay. Do you have a one that you would?
She has like Taylor Swift stalker people. So
no. I'm not gonna try and knock on her freaking door.
No, I'm just saying we put this on the internet.
You. Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, then just
he doesn't know how the internet works.
Hey, if we have any good food places to recommend to me, though, like I'm all ears. Like,
so are we. That's what I'm saying. If you got anything in your back pocket, just text it to Chad on the down low so that we don't have crazy dudes knocking at your door. Sorry, in the Charlotte area.
Yeah.
So
I live at the bottom of Lake Norman in Cowens Ford, and I am wide open to idiots knocking on my door. Some I may invite in.
Rick's like, I need the entertainment.
Some I may escort out on the end of my fist. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't give a shit.
So, speaking of that, let's talk about it. I know you talk about like the different things that you kind of overcome and find your way around. Have you had any kind of pushback, or do you feel like it has been hard for you as a woman in this space?
Funny enough, no. Like, and I feel like that's not an answer you're going to hear a lot, or it's one that I don't know. I've always been so focused on, I just want to make content. I just want to do journalism. I want to do my work. And I've just kind of done things my own way. Sure. Yeah. Facebook is going to be a freaking nightmare. And I just stopped looking at Facebook comments. I don't care.
Chad, what's Facebook? Never mind that. Sorry.
Just put me back in your top 5 on MySpace, Rick.
What does it do? And what?
I said, just put me back in your top 5 on MySpace.
All right. Give me an X account or something, or one of those other ones. Hit me up on Insta.
Can you do the shoulder thing again?
Yeah, the shoulder thing was nice.
I have no idea. Whatever. Come on. I'm sorry. Go.
Anyways, back to you, Taylor.
No, you're good. But like, I don't feel like I've really had anything that I've had to overcome being a woman in the space. There's always going to be somebody kind of questioning if you know your stuff. And like, I mean, I know what I know. Like I've watched the sport since 2016. I've done research on the history of the sport. I've written articles and things. I've done historical videos. Like I mean, I know my stuff. Like, so there's part of it is where you're constantly kind of having to prove yourself. But the other part of me just is like, I don't care. Like I'm doing what I love. And if somebody has a problem with it, then that sucks. But no additional pushback. I think I've been lucky to be surrounded by people that have really supported me and believed in me and looked at my content and saw me as a human being and were like, okay, like I want to help you get to where you want to go. I see the potential. I see the promise. I see the drive, the passion, and there's everyone who's been in my corner has just been exceptionally wonderful. So luckily nothing negative from that standpoint for me.
I like it.
That's fantastic because there's a lot of douchebags out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of, Chris, I
Yes.
kind of feel though, I kind of feel like the sport is open to embrace women overall, except I don't want to say except, but in the driver's seat, obviously NASCAR is trying to find. But like, if you look at like, I don't know, Trotta, Kim Coon, Wendy Venturini, like you can keep naming names. I don't think there's any blocks to women being invited in. And obviously, Taylor's got more street cred than some of the NASCAR fans that I know, for Christ's sake.
That's true. That's
Yes.
true. You definitely
Right.
see the influx of more women, definitely
Right.
like pit row, like
Yeah, and that's
in
cool.
front of the camera kind of scene.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have that without, like, I mean, Deb Williams, for instance, a fantastic journalist. She was just on the Dale Jr. Download today, actually. I need to listen to her episode, but she's been such a trailblazer for like women in this sport, whether she wants to admit it or not. Same thing with Holly Kane. I looked up to her greatly, like when I started kind of in this field, and obviously Danielle Trott is fantastic. Kim Coon, I look up to all of them. Jamie Little, like,
Jamie Little.
Yeah.
there's great women that are in the sport that have kind of paved the way to keep it to where it's normal to see women in front of the camera on pit road,
Totally.
etc. So
Absolutely.
Right.
I
Right.
benefit
Absolutely.
from what they've done. Yeah.
All right. So before we let you go, let's get into what you're doing now with motorsports.com. What is it that you're doing for them? You just started that this week, so I know you.
No,
you
she
know
said
everything.
started yesterday, to be
Yes.
fair.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
thank God that she got the job before she came on this dumbass podcast so we don't get her fired. I'm sorry. It's a great podcast, Chad. I'm
It
sorry.
is a great podcast. I will say it is a great
It's
podcast.
one
Now,
of the
Thank
best.
you. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
at motorsport.com, I am a social media talent and producer. So it's a bit of a hybrid role. What's nice about it is it's very similar to what I was doing with Racing America. It's just obviously now a global company. For me, what my role is really to tap into that NASCAR audience and really focus on that NASCAR coverage. So kind of being the face of NASCAR on the global platforms for motorsport.com, which pressure. That's a lot of eyes. It's a lot of pressure. So that's not lost on me. I think the other part of my job as well is just kind of, coming up with creative content ideas like graphics and things like that. Another part of my job will be, live production, maybe doing some live production at the track. And we're working currently on those ideas. And as well as doing some shows weekly. I know Matt Weaver just joined the team as well at motorsport.com. So I'll be working with him as well, which is great. I've looked up to his work forever too. I think I say that about everybody, but it's true. Like every person I have named, I'm like, I really looked up to their work and I'm like, this is what I want to strive to do, what I want to strive to be. And Matt, the way he's done his journalism has been so interesting. He's very unapologetically him and everything he writes and does. And I really, really admired that. So I'm excited to work with him, but right now it is learning faces, who does what. But it's been cool to already kind of contribute to some ideas, and their headquarters is in New York. They want me to be here to be able to be around the NASCAR scene, which I'm very appreciative of because this is my home. I want to be here the rest of my life. I love it. But it's been great to be like, hey, like we'll have you in New York in a few weeks at our headquarters, and like we'll workshop some ideas, and we'll have you at this thing, and then so it's a very cool role. I'm very excited to kind of see how it will evolve and develop, but it's pressure to be in front of that big of an audience, especially an audience that's more Formula One driven. So we're taking a really big kind of swing, trying to bring in that NASCAR audience, and we're really excited about it.
How much more Formula One driven would you say they are? I know you've only been there 24 hours, but are you saying they're 50% dedicated? Like, what are you thinking?
I would definitely say I'd give it like a 70%. And
Really?
Yeah, it's very, very heavy Formula One, but I think where we're at culturally with motorsport right now, or motorsports in general right now, is you're starting to see NASCAR kind of get back into pop culture a little bit more. You're seeing kind of the influx of F1 fans die down a little bit now that, Drive to Survive has kind of been like, okay, we've seen this. We know what this is. Like, you're starting to kind of balance the playing fields here. And I think as there's an oversaturation in the Formula One market, especially with F1 content creators, they're trying to say, okay, what other avenues can I go into motorsport wise to get opportunities, etc. And NASCAR and even IndyCar just so happen to be much more open to working with content creators at a smaller scale than Formula One currently is. So you're starting to see people kind of trickle over to these other motorsports series. So the idea is hopefully, to capture that audience and make them really excited about NASCAR, the accessibility and all these different things with it. So, but yeah, it's a huge, huge Formula One audience.
Yeah, that's to your point there. We had there's a guy in the Chevy camp that's a Formula One guy that's over just checking out how we do things. And he brought up the fact of the two Netflix series and how the crossover from fans have now grown because they watched the NASCAR version and the US watched the Formula One version, and the fan bases have grown because of those shows. So,
Taylor, what did you think about the NASCAR kind of answer to Drive to Survive?
I liked it. I felt, yes, you're gonna have some over dramatic moments in a Netflix show that don't really replicate real life and what the day to day is like in the industry. But I felt it was a really good answer. I felt for the most part it was grounded. It was cool to be a part of it too. For their season 2, they had it was when Chase Briscoe announced that he was going to Joe Gibbs Racing, and that I had a little portion in that, which was cool. But
and Christopher Bell actually mistakenly announced it 24 hours before that, but that's okay.
Of course.
yeah,
that's great. My new teammate. It's like, what?
But wait a second. That was an iconic moment, by the way. It was so good.
Agreed.
For that.
Agreed.
But it was a really good answer, I think, to Drive to Survive, and I think it gave a more real approach than what Drive to Survive did for Formula One, where I think it over sensationalized it a little bit, and I think NASCAR didn't completely do that with that, which I appreciated.
Nice.
So what tracks are you going to be at coming up?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that question. I always have questions, Chad. How many races do you go to, Taylor? And maybe next time Chad will actually let us know and we can get reintroduced again, other than that time at Haas that was awkward.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? That's okay. Well, we'll meet up at the track again here soon. All
right. How many races?
Roval, and Martinsville, and then Phoenix for the rest of this year. Typically in a season, I go anywhere from like 5 to 10 races. Next year's schedule.
Roval, Martinsville, Phoenix.
Roval, Martinsville. Whoa. Write those down.
Hold on.
We will all be.
Wait,
at
if she's doing Roval, that's our little deal with our contest winner.
Correct.
Yes, we gave away a trip to the Roval. So flights, hotels, VIP passes for 2 lucky fans who are coming up out of Florida to hang out with us. We're also doing a live podcast at Old Armor that Friday night with Carrie Earnhardt.
And that's kind of outside Charlotte without saying exactly where it is.
Yep, outside Charlotte, the Charlotte area.
I'm just kidding.
Charlotte metro area. Yeah, so come hang out with us and we'll
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say I have ventured to Kannapolis. I have ventured to the Old Armor Brewery.
Oh,
really good.
Chad, get her the time and everything. I know it's changed. Is it 5 o'clock?
Yes, we're 5 o'clock Friday, October the 3rd at Old Armor Brewery in downtown Kannapolis. Special guest Carrie Earnhardt will be there.
That's bad.
So come hang out with us. Yeah, it's going to be really cool.
And if you come, I'll bring you a Buckeyes championship hat from Atlanta because I was at the game.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Now, here's the thing.
$2,800 later, but I could give a shit because I don't know if they'll be back while I'm still alive because I'm a little older than you. But yep.
The championship game was on my birthday. So I had a fantastic birthday.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah. As a side note there, watch them win the championship. I'm like, couldn't be any better. So
I did not have a fantastic year birthday.
Sorry.
I am so sorry.
It's okay. And I did not have a good week 1 of this year.
Sorry, Chad.
Tis the season for football, guys.
Yeah, we're just not used to it as Bama fans. So it's different.
It's because
anyways,
is gone. Things have changed.
I'm aware. There were apparently reports today that there were players like walking around the hotel at like 2 a.m. ordering DoorDash, like fast food DoorDash, all kind of stuff. Like,
gotta get them in line.
That would never happen.
Line.
Anyways, Taylor, if people want to check out your content, follow you, what you're doing, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, just go to AboveTheYellowLine.com. You can find all my social handles there. There's too many to name. So I'll just say go to AboveTheYellowLine.com and you can find all my content. And of course, you can see me on the motorsport.com social pages as well.
Yeah. Don't send her any weird DMs. Be nice.
Hey. I'm not even on social
talking
media.
to you.
If I had her number, I'd text her. But I don't do that weird social media crap that you guys are all worried about.
Taylor, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks for sharing your story. I've enjoyed this. I hope we get to do some stuff together in the future. And come hang out with us at Old Armor.
Come to Old Armor, and then we'll see you at the Roval.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, you guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Taylor Kitchen on Checkers, Shreggers, and What the Heckers.
So I went wide open, hoping for a little taste. Okay.